Hi everyone, I hope that y'all are having a great week, second week of classes. The discussion this week was very good. I learned a lot from the lecture about human development and the different theories and extremes that there are. It's a lot of them. A lot of them we may have covered, or some of y'all may have covered, but I know we covered in psychology in undergrad. So it was kind of like a reminder with the added amount of information. We know that from the studies of human development, that human development helps us to understand the relationship between society and individual growth. So in our lecture this week, we touched on the many different human development theories and extremes, concepts that have been discovered throughout the course of time. From Freud's theory of development suggesting that personality is mostly established by the age of 5, to Piaget's theory of cognitive development theory, believing that children actively construct knowledge as they manipulate and explore their world. We discussed continuous human development and discontinuous human development. The continuous development is a process that believes development happens gradually over time, such as physical development, like height. And the discontinuous human development, the process that is categorical and refers to changes in specific stages of life. I believe personally in the lifespan perspective being highly plastic, with human beings being flexible, and the concept that there is still great potential in our development and intelligence as we continue to grow. For example, me personally, I learn new things every single day. I know I spoke briefly in my introduction video about how during COVID I picked up new hobbies and I learned how to make waist beads and I started painting. These are things that I learned at a later age just simply through YouTube and the environment. I have never been the most creative person in terms of art. I did used to write, and I still do write and journal, but as far as like painting and crafts, I was never that type of person creatively. But during this time, I've learned a lot of new hobbies with the time period of COVID and the amount of free time I was able to learn all of these things and new ways to express myself and pick up these hobbies as I've grown later in life. Also, I'm not sure if any of you are aware of an app called TikTok, but I recently have been introduced to this app. Now, I'm not really big on social media, but I learned about this app recently, and there are people from all walks of life, different cultures, that share their cultures and customs and different ways of doing things that people in my particular state or community have never seen or heard of. And it's different things, small things, such as if you have that clear Tupperware and you made spaghetti or some other saucy food that stains the container, you can't get that stain out. You take some Dawn dish soap and paper towel. They were like ripping it up and putting it in the container with some water, and they were shaking it up, and it gets the stain out. Like, who knew that? Those are things that we learned that you pick up each day. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a thing. You just had that Tupperware that was just stained forever, or you threw it away, but nobody knew how to get that stain out. But apparently, people knew this all our lives, and I never knew. But different things throughout our lives, we're continuously learning and adapting new ways of life from our environment and, of course, from our parents. The theory that correlates with this is the nature versus nurture concept. And I believe that both nature and nurture have a complementary relationship that work hand in hand. Both work together to develop the individuals that we are today and who we continue to grow to be. I believe that all of these theories, in their own way, they make sense. All of them make sense according to theories and studies that have been done, and they're relevant to the time period when they were created. So I wouldn't say I necessarily disagree with any of the theories, but the theory that I may have had questions for would be Piaget's theory of human development, because I believe our personalities continue to change depending on what we are exposed to throughout our lives, and we are continuously changing. It doesn't stop at age 5. We continue to learn, as I made examples earlier, about things that I've learned as an adult in my adulthood that I had never heard of, or I've been exposed to later on in life, that I've just picked up. And it wasn't because of a certain stage in my life I learned this thing. No, I learned it maybe out of context or out of order or later on in life. So there's a lot of things that we learn throughout human development. I'm pretty sure we will learn more about human development and how that process works later on in this course. So I hope that this discussion was insightful to you all, and I hope that you all have a great week.